Have you ever wondered what guitar reigns supreme? The Stratocaster or the Les Paul? In this video we're going to find out. So the dilemma is, there are two main sort of vibes that you get from these guitars. There's something very different about the way they feel and play and sound. And a lot of it is down to the design and the concepts that came behind them. A lot of it was around what they were for at the time. A lot of this is around what famous players used to use them to craft their sound. So the first thing we're going to look at is the key features between the two of them. The Stratocaster has a different shaped headstock. It's got 6 strings on one side, whereas the Les Paul is very traditional in that it's got 3 either side. The scale length is very different. The frets are different shapes and they feel different under the fingers. The necks feel different. So the way the neck feels at the back is very different. And there's 2 distinct flavours with the Les Paul. There's a few different feels on the Fenders. They have a whammy bar on the Strats, so you can bend the notes down, dive bomb and so forth. The Strat is more contoured and ergonomic, whereas the Les Paul has this intimate and close feel to it. The Les Paul is more resonant and has a vibration that comes off them a lot more than Strats tend to. And the Strat has a really handy bolt-on neck design so that the guitar can be taken apart. There are more pickups on a Stratocaster and more combinations of sounds that can be achieved. The input jack is on the front of the Strat and is contoured so it can be plugged in and be flush to the body. There are issues with the Les Paul with where it is that can cause damage if there's an accident. They are set up differently, so the bridges have a different design. Some are more simple than others, and the great thing about a Les Paul is you can adjust the tension on the strings for those string bends. Sounds cool. So what is it about Strat really that makes it stratty? And when I'm talking about Strat, I'm talking about the way any guitar really with this kind of shape, neck design, trem system and scale length. This guitar has 3 pickups and you've got 5 selections that you can make with the pickup selection with the sound. Has a tremolo, you can adjust the tension through this. Has a floating bridge. And it feels great to play. A lot of the more innovative guitar players in history used Strat style guitars, and that was because of their versatility and the way that you could do different things with the palette of tones that you got with a Strat. Les Pauls, on the other hand, can be a bit heavier. This one isn't. They do have this lovely chunk of wood. They do come at an angle look, so the neck is coming off an angle from where the body is, and the headstock tilts back at an angle. These are known for snapping the headstocks if you drop them. Les Pauls have something really cool going on with the scale length. It's actually smaller than a Strat, so the frets come up smaller, and therefore you can bend bigger. And you can also adjust the tension easier using the Tune-o-matic bridge. My favourite feature on the Les Paul is the fact that you can put the switch between the pickups in the middle and you can blend the 2 pickups together. So you can have slightly more bass, slightly less treble, or slightly more treble, slightly less bass. You can edit those sounds really easily just by turning the knobs, and you can get hundreds of thousands of different sounds really from a Les Paul.
Plethora of sounds without having to plug into one pedal. How? Well, you have your volumes, you have your pickup selector, you have your tone knobs, which is the forgotten pedal or forgotten knob. So we could start here with your woman tone. a simple touch of a button, you can have instant Wes Montgomery. Then, as we engage the tone, you have a nice bright clean sound. Again, here's your clean sound. No need to change a channel. No need to disengage the tube screamer. No need to touch anything on the floor. As you can see, well, maybe you can't. There's nothing on the floor. So now, here's your clean sound. Now, if we want to solo like, say, Johnny Winter or Freddie King or Larry Carlton, you know, just engage your front pickup.
My favourite bit about the Les Paul is it basically sounds like an angry Telecaster. It has a lot more low-end thud. It's a lot chunkier sounding. And if you want to record rock stuff, this is a great tool to use. If you want to do jazz music, it's great. Funk, anything. The Stratocaster sounds snappier. It's a lot better for kind of funk tones, pop tones, and compression. But it does lack a bit of low end when it comes to doing solos and things. It's never stopped some of my heroes. So one of my favourite guitar players is Stevie Ray Vaughan. He makes a Strat really sing. John Mayer makes a great sound with a Strat. Hendrix, of course. Jeff Beck. You name it, the list goes on. One of my favourite musicians, Frank Zappa, he used a Strat a lot. He's known for his SG, but his Strat tones were pretty cool. Strats are very versatile, but they have a longer scale length. If you're working with a youngster and you want to see what guitar they're going to prefer, sometimes I always start by sitting them with a Fender style guitar and then a Gibson style guitar, and they tend to find something that fits them and suits them better. I would always recommend that because the scale lengths are different. So there we have it. We've got the Fender Strat and the Gibson Les Paul. They've got the oh my God, what's that? Between a Les Paul and a Fender, but they've got this really cool size to them. They sound amazing. And there's got loads of different options, and they're really well made. The PRS is another way to look at things, another option. They have a scale length that's kind of in between a Strat and a Les Paul, and they also have some of the tonal options. They've got that low-end chunky sound of a humbucker that you get on a Les Paul. You can coil tap and get the Strat sound, and also get that plinky, funky tone, but they're a slightly different beast. What I would say is, out of the three, these do have a slightly different vibe, and if you're all about the vibe from a guitar, you know, you might want a beaten up Strat or an old crusty Les Paul. They would obviously be a lot more attractive if you're after vibe and character. As a professional musician, I use PRS most of the time just because they are, to me, a supreme guitar for all applications. When I'm at home and when I'm playing my favourite guitar though, it seems to be a Les Paul. A beaten up 20-year-old Les Paul or my 30-year-old Strat. They're the two things that I find more pleasurable to own and play. But when I'm working and out on the road, I rely on my Paul Reed Smiths. And there we have it. So, what's supreme? Depends what you're looking at. Possibly a PRS. If you want vibe and character, a Les Paul. Every Les Paul is completely different. They all have a slight flavour that's similar, but I would say that these guitars are a truly one-off, each one of them. And because of that, you kind of love them. It's kind of like, you know, how dogs are. If somebody else's dog can do more tricks than yours, you still love your dog, don't you? It's kind of like that with Les Pauls. Stratocasters, versatile and iconic. Fantastic pieces of equipment. If I had no other guitar, probably want to have a Strat. Just need one. You can always rely on your trusty Strat. The best thing to do is try out a guitar, see if you like it. If you like that Les Paul feel, Les Pauls are for you. If you like the Strat feel, Strats are for you. PRS is a good piece of middle ground that's good quality. Or like me, you could just be a greedy guitar player and have all of them. Plus, you know, get yourself a Telecaster, and while you're at it, get yourself another Strat with a slightly different colour. And then you could get another Les Paul, maybe a hollow body, maybe a 335. Get a 339 as well, which is sort of between a Les Paul and a Strat. Maybe you could get yourself a Kramer, also like an Ibanez. What about an Explorer? They're cool. And a Firebird. Everybody needs a Firebird. And then you could get yourself, you know, a Gibson Les Paul Custom, and then a hollow body, and you need a gold top with P90s, and then a Les Paul, and then another PRS, and then a Taylor.